This is Andi Purewal for Boxing Social in association with Betfred, and for the last time on my American tour, I am joined by Eddie Hearn. Eddie, a successful night, a few hairy moments at the end there for Devin Haney, but victory against Jorge Linares tonight. How would you assess his win?
I thought it was a great performance. It's quite fun, isn't it? You know, he got buzzed at the end of the 10th round. Just watched it back. Tremendous right hand from Jorge Linares. And it's like, so I just posted saying, what a great fight. Devin Haney, 22 years of age. Some bloke went, what, with that chin? It's like same guy that dropped Loma. You know, no one said anything about Loma's chin. Come back, recovered well, and had to do things in the fight they hadn't done before. You know, never really been buzzed before. Never had to sort of recover and tough it out. I thought it was a brilliant performance. I think for 9 rounds, I thought he was absolutely tremendous. I mean, it was an absolute clinic. Linares is a tremendous fighter, and you know, was too far behind to get back in the fight. You know, I had him maybe winning only one of the first 6 rounds, and I thought it was a brilliant performance. I think sometimes you got to realise, and age is irrelevant in this, because I'm saying that Devin Haney is the best lightweight in the world. It's nothing to do with his age, but he's 22 years of age. I don't even think he's got his full man strength yet. So I thought it was a brilliant performance, and I think he's a tremendous fighter, unbelievable talent. You know, one of the biggest young talents in the sport.
Eddie, those last few rounds after Linares had clipped Devin, what was going through your mind there?
12th was all right, because I think he was fully recovered, to be honest with you. And obviously he'd won the fight, so he even engaged a little bit in the 12th, and I just shouted to him, don't trade, you've won the fight, get on your bike. He stayed in the pocket a little bit too much in the later stages of the fight, and I think because he'd schooled him early on, and I think he wanted to stop him. And he got a little bit cocky, and he took one on the chin. And you know, Jorge Linares is a dangerous puncher. We've seen him knock great fighters down. We've seen him stop numerous fighters over the years. And 11th round was a little bit hairy, but 12th, I think he'd fully recovered and just coasted out the win.
Eddie, you said to me earlier this week, Devin comes through this successfully. A big offer for Teofimo Lopez will put on the table.
Got turkey pretzel in me, man. Come on.
That's an odd combination.
Yeah, I know. Just one in there. I think that's the fight. I really do. You know, I think we've got these brilliant young lightweights, haven't we? You know, Gervonta Davis, Devin Haney, Teofimo Lopez, Ryan Garcia. We've got to see them fight each other. So for me, Teofimo's made it very clear he wants to fight Devin Haney. Devin Haney wants to fight Teofimo Lopez. Whoever you think's going to win, let's just get it made and find out. These are the kind of fights that we need. There's no reason why that fight can't happen next. There's a mandatory fight taking place between Jojo Diaz and Fortuna. The winner of that will be the mandatory for Devin Haney. We'd like to go straight into the Teofimo Lopez fight. But tonight was a massive learning fight, but just a really good experience for Devin Haney, because that's the first time he's been with an elite world-class fighter.
If you are one of the other names you've just mentioned there, you're watching Devin tonight, are you impressed by those first 9 rounds, or do you see the...
No, you have to be unbelievably impressed, because anyone that knows boxing will tell you he boxed absolutely beautiful for those first 9 rounds. And, you know, but at the same time, they might be watching the end of the 10th going, oh, a little wobble there, was it? I mean, I actually just watched it back. He didn't go over. He got buzzed at the end of the round, went back and come out. So, like I said, this is the same guy that knocked down Lomachenko. And no one really said anything there. So, but opinions are good. You know, maybe you think that you can stop him. You know, maybe you think he don't punch hard enough. You know, we just talked to Jorge Linares about it. He says, you've got plenty of power, don't worry about that. But he's 22 years old, he's going to get faster, he's going to get more powerful, and he's going to get better and better. So this kid's a fantastic fighter. Show me a 22-year-old talent like that anywhere in the world. It doesn't exist.
Eddie just worked through the card and a couple of the topics. Chantel Cameron defending her title with relatively comfortable fashion. Just your thoughts on her win?
Yeah, I thought it was a terrible stoppage. I mean, I thought Chantel Cameron was fantastic. Melissa Hernandez, former world champion, 2-weight world champion, or 2-time world champion, mandatory challenger, just got absolutely steamrolled by Chantel Cameron. But she deserved to go on in the fight. You know, she was hurt, but she was not really hurt at that moment. And it's a world championship fight. I think sometimes, and this is something that we've got to actually improve. You're right there, Andy? Yeah. Okay. Is you can't... I think sometimes referees act differently because it's a female fight. Do you know what I mean? It's like, oh, we'll stop this now because it's the women's, and, you know... So would they have stopped that if that was a man's fight? No, I don't think so. So I thought it was a really poor stoppage, but I thought it was a great performance from Chantel Cameron. I'm talking to Lou DeBella about trying to do this sort of tournament, if you like, but just undisputed fights for 140. talking about Chantel fighting Mary McGee next, and then Callie Reese fighting Lennard 2, and then the winners fight the winner. I would like Chantel Cameron to have 2 more fights this year, and I would like to see her be undisputed at the end of the year. And then there's some massive fights out there for her. Katie Taylor, Jessica McCaskill, Serrano, Terry Harper, Jonas. All these fights are out there for Chantel Cameron, but I would like to see her become undisputed as soon as possible, because I think she can do it quite quickly.
Jay Quigley and Shane Mosley Jr., brilliant fight.
Yeah, really good fight. Just saw Shane walk past there, he was fantastic. And Jay Quigley's always in good fights, and it was a close fight, but I felt like Jay deserved the win. And congrats to him and Andy Lee, and Wayne McCulloch was in the corner, and big win for him.
Ward Fusile?
Yeah, gutted. We're obviously close with Ward. He's been part of Matchroom for a long time. It was so good to give him this opportunity, and this was his sort of big opportunity of his career to go on and fight for a world title. Unfortunately, with a mixture of bad luck and injury, and maybe not quite being good enough, had the fight even at the time of the stoppage. But Fusili started to come into the fight. He looked dangerous every time he landed, and Wardy, it looked like his knee kind of dislocated. And as soon as that happened, the fight was over. There was no way he could compete with Fusili, who is a good fighter. There's going to be a problem in the weight class, but for Wardy, he's won British, European championships. He's fought a world title eliminator in Las Vegas. He's had a great run, and see what he wants to do from here.
Eddie, Joe Markovsky's very coy on the numbers with regards to the zone. Can you fill us in on what the numbers are like?
I'm not allowed. I mean, numbers for what? You talk about tonight?
Subscribers in general?
Yeah, they're absolutely flying at the moment, flying. And I always say to them, why don't you let people know how good things are going? Now, when things aren't going well, he's back now, Joe Markovsky, but when things aren't going very well, I wouldn't say anything. But when you're absolutely flying like the zone are at the moment, I would just be coming out, but it's company policy, so I have to respect that. But they're flying at the moment, and another very successful night tonight with viewership and subscriptions as well. So obviously Canelo helps, and off the back of Canelo, Billy Joe Saunders, both in the UK and in America, the zone are absolutely flying.
Just mentioning Canelo there, any update with regards to the Caleb plan for it?
No, I'm talking to Louis de Cubas. We'll talk to the zone next week and get their numbers in, and I guess an offer will be forthcoming to Caleb Plant. I'm sure Fox and PBC will make an offer for Canelo, and then we'll see what everyone wants to do. But obviously that's the fight everybody wants. Hopefully September the 11th that gets made.
I'm sure you're probably fed up of talking about it, Eddie, but when we did our interview the other day, I didn't see John Fury's comments, Frank's comments, what have you. So firstly, just your thoughts on John Fury's comments with regards to Wilder Fury going out.
I watched John Fury's interview because I think AJ posted it, and I swiped up, or whatever it is you do, and I thought it was the first time I've actually agreed with John Fury. So that was good. I thought he spoke a lot of sense, and I'm glad someone's telling the truth from their side, because that's exactly what happened. Basically, everybody was told, and he was clearly told as well, and sounds like Tyson Fury was, that the arbitration wasn't a problem whatsoever. This is the only fight everybody wanted. And all of a sudden they're railroaded into another fight, and they're signing contracts a day later in a hotel in Las Vegas. So I've said before, the whole thing stinks, and for once Mr. John Fury agrees with me, so that was nice.
Frank Warren said you had no idea about what the contracts were like in December. You said to me the other day, in December there was a chance for Fury to cancel the agreement for them to fight.
Read the arbitration. It's these people talk absolute bollocks. Frank Warren and Bob Arum. Fucking clueless. So at the end of the day, they can say what they want. I think the public have decided. Look at the responses from every time these guys do an interview. Look at John Fury said it very, very clearly what happened. For some reason, certain people didn't want the fight. Can't tell you the reason because I don't actually know. But that's what it is.
Right, Eddie, final word to yourself, for everyone around the world, take it away.
You do this to me all the time, and I'm kind of running out of material. No, listen, Vegas has been great crowd tonight. Thanks for all the support. What we're doing, Andy, next week we've got no show. That's a disgrace, because we have shows all the time. But we've got big news dropping next week on a number of levels. Obviously, hopefully closing the AJ fight as well at some point. And then we're in Newcastle for Lewis Ritson against Ponce, great fight. And then we've got another announcement coming soon about a new deal, international deal, with in a new big market that we'll be launching first show at the end of June. So lots of exciting news dropping this week.
Eddie, just one quick final one. Fight camp. How many shows are you looking to put on for that?
3 shows. 3 shows. Got most of it made. Fucking absolutely banging. Fight camp is going to be unbelievable.
How many fans?
About 500. 500 lucky fans.
Eddie, appreciate your time this week as always. Thank you.
Cheers, mate.
You